Hi, my name is Sam Johnson.
And I'm Vanessa Vega.
And we are voice teachers. Today we will be reacting to and analyzing Joni Mitchell with Brandi Carlile performing Both Sides Now at Newport Folk Fest, July 24th, 2022.
So recent.
So recent.
Rose and flows of angel hair
She sounds good.
and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way.
Okay, she sounds really, really lovely. You know her voice better than I do, for sure. How have you heard? How does it sound very different from what you're used to?
So she's done like a zillion recordings of this song, and she has one from when she was like younger, when we hear, when we've heard like her classics. But also, Joni Mitchell did another album when she was already older and re-recorded this
really?
song. Yeah, so listening to the difference between that recording and here, there's not a ton that's different. I mean, if you listen to her when she was younger, great singer, great whether or not knew it at the time, incredible voice technician. Everything sounded easy and just allowed to flip back and forth wherever she wanted. And so then later, when she chose to start singing it in a lower register...
Oh, did she change the key? Or just...
I don't remember what key she was just singing. Of angel... Rows of angel hair. I think that's the original.
Oh, so just maybe a little bit.
Ice cream castles in the air. Yeah. So change the key a little bit lower, but I think what that does is it tells us that Joni Mitchell continues to be a really smart singer.
Just aware of what her instrument does.
Aware of her instrument and never pushing, and always having that quality of ease. There's always going to be ways that your voice changes as you get older, but to accommodate that and to just know that what you're known for is easy, beautiful singing, and continuing to do that, I think is really cool.
I agree. I think it shows a lot of awareness of what her voice is. At the beginning, like when she went up to those higher notes, you heard a little bit of just something, and then she cleared her voice. So it's like she heard it too, and it's again, it's not like a huge deal. It's just it shows that she's still conscious of everything that's going on.
Yeah, she's a good singer.
She's a very good singer.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions that I recall. I really don't know clouds. I really don't know clouds at all.
Okay, same as everyone up there. I don't know how you could sing that song with Joni Mitchell and not bawl your eyes out. My God.
Her lower register just sounds gorgeous, and not saying that her top doesn't. I really like what she sounds like on her higher notes, especially when she pulls back on the volume a little bit and lets it be just that really delicate sound. There was a little bit of pitchiness when she was kind of approaching some of those middle high parts, and to me that just is because it's a little too much weight for the day. But
I would say so.
But like most of the time she still ends up on the right pitch, even if it like starts barely under or something.
Well, yeah, and I mean, here is another thing that I think we say to everyone all the time, and it's always true, is that singing is a sport, and 99% is mental. And if you know that you can't rely on that part of your voice as much as you used to, your brain tells you, oh no, we're getting to that spot, and therefore it becomes a little bit less reliable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure this is a nerve-wracking thing. Not singing in public very often anymore, knowing that your voice isn't where you would like it to be and where it has been, and knowing that you can't rely on it the same way. It probably messes with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure that some of it, and probably a lot of any of the shakiness, is mental. There, of course, are going to be physical things, like we've talked about.
I mean,
as
I
you
think
get
what I'm
older.
hearing is more like a compensatory thing
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, and what we tend to do when we get nervous about, like, a high note in an opera or whatever, is if we go, here's the high note, we sometimes will get nervous and will push extra to make sure it happens. And so that just tends to be sort of a go-to of
Mm-hmm.
when you have something.
We can break anything down into like very, very small, minute things. I think most audiences do not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only reason we do this is because I think a lot of people don't talk about that mental component as much. And this kind of overanalysis is something that's really common for a singer to do in their own head, get in their own way. And the audience doesn't even care. Like, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, like you pointed out, I've been listening to Joni Mitchell basically my entire life. And every time I hear her, I still can immediately tell who it is. I immediately tell who it is. I immediately know that it's a good singer singing, and that she cares a lot about what she's singing about, and therefore makes everyone else care about it too.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably the strongest thing about this whole performance and her music and singing just in general that I think people gravitate back to.
When my mom sent me this recording this morning, I was like, yes, Vanessa's going to react to this.
Except it was cruel, because I'm probably just going to be crying by the end of it.
Let's see!
Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels.
Her low notes sound so
The dizzy
good.
dancing way you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now
Same.
it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know.
Jeez, I don't even listen to
No,
her.
don't give yourself away. Oh, I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions that I recall. I really don't know love. I really don't know love at all.
Sometimes when we do these videos, it's hard to find places to pause. But we have to, or else this will not be allowed on the YouTubes. Go watch this video just all the way through and let yourself feel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I also think a really interesting thing is when I do think about all the stages that I've heard her sing this, it's pretty wild, because I'm sure that this takes on new meaning. I mean, every time she sings it and every time other people hear it. And so, like, do you think when I was like, 10 years old listening to this in the car, I was crying? No! But I think that's something that's really special, is that And honestly, I think some of it is a testament to the ease of it and the way that the words are expressed. Is if we were worried about her singing this and like, oh no, it's getting strained here, it's here, oh, I'm worried about this next note, we wouldn't be caring, we wouldn't be crying, we would be worried about something else, we would not be able to have that attachment. And so what I think kind of continues that component of self-awareness of, I need to sing this in the way that it feels for me, so that way these words have that meaning.
I think that singing a song like this over a career as long as Joni's, and so I think some artists feel like trapped into having to sing the songs that they wrote when they were like 20, when they are no longer feeling those kinds of things. But to be able to write a song that you can bring new life to just by being you at whatever stage you're at and letting it evolve with you, I think is how you can get through that. Because I do think, like, if you write just one bop and you're like, this is awesome and it makes me a lot of money, but you actually don't love the song, how are you going to sing it 8 times a week for the rest of your life and get paid? Like, that sounds really hard.
Well, yeah. And I think of things like, for instance, I think this is a really good sort of revelation to me, because as someone who has sung opera and has had that be, some of their career focus after a while, I also have found that like making an opera role your career, that's really hard, because you change as a person, your relationship to the character changes over time, and if you don't because people will be these characters for their entire careers sometimes, and if the only people that I think are truly great that continue doing those things are people who continue to let the music and the role change with themselves.
Some people just get so locked into this is the way that you do it, especially I think in classical music where, there's just so much history of each of these roles that like some people might be like, I have to do it this way all the time. And it can be very restrictive. But I agree 100%. If you can just let yourself approach the song from wherever you are that day, that's why it's special. Like I can eat a cheeseburger every day of my life and I'm never like mad that there's like that it's the same as the day before, because like they're different. I don't know if that's the same thing. That might not be the exact same thing.
I don't know if you want it to be.
Yeah, everyone on this stage is just losing their mind.
Yeah, as they should.
I don't know love at all. Tears and fears, feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way, but now old friends are acting strange, and they shake their heads and they tell me that I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained.
Tell him, Joni.
In living every day.
I just props. Which Judd sister is that?
We've got to look it up.
We gotta look it up.
I want to say who I know it is, but if I'm wrong, the internet will murder me.
Yeah, it was Winona. Yeah, props for her even being there. I'm sure that's a very emotional experience. And to be able to show that kind of vulnerability on stage and be able to get up when maybe everything in your life isn't as ideal as you might want it to be for a performance, I think it just shows a lot of character.
I've looked at life from both sides now, from windows and still from now. It's life's illusion.
I like how Brandi is just glued to her, just like following every single bit, listening so carefully, and just like, I'm not here to steal the spotlight. I am here to just help lift you up in whatever way I can. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You can tell Brandi is very much playing the role of the accompanist, kind of in this case of, where's the breath happening?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone else, here's their cue. I think,
I mean, we talk a lot about just listening carefully, and listen, but your eyes do so much of it too. And when you're singing with another person, if you just look at each other, it's amazing how much that can do to meld the performance, where a lot of people are just, they won't do that for whatever reason.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a tip we always talk about when we have accompanists for things that maybe we've never met with before or whatever, but breathing actually gives the tempo.
Mm-hmm.
If you breathe in time, then they'll know what tempo. But if you go and if you breathe slowly, chances are you're going to come in a little bit slower. So,
and I mean, like, accompanists will listen to the breath to find their tempo, and we'll actually listen to the accompanist's breath to find where they're leading in. And so I love listening to you practicing with recordings from Emily, and we just hear her. And
that was our coach and accompanist in our undergrad, who was just an A++ superstar musician, just incredible, but also definitely helped us out a lot with wonderful.
So these friends are demonstrating some wonderful musicianship and just collaborative skills that we can imitate.
I recall, I really don't know life. I really don't know life at all.
It's just gorgeous. I think it's really easy for people to notice any sort of instability in their voice and immediately compensate for it. And I think that wrecks things a lot. And I also think that we feel things because she let herself be herself in this. I don't hear her like trying to make herself anything other than she is today. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things you can do as a singer, is just show, here's where I am today. I know that this channel has a tendency to get just hyper analytical about does this vowel work for this pitch? Does this work for whatever? But I hope that people who watch regularly remember that this is the whole point, is the storytelling and just being vulnerable in front of another person, or even just in front of yourself, which I think is an even harder thing to do sometimes. This is a very special video. We're lucky that we have Brandi Carlile and Joni Mitchell and Winona Judd, and that they're all willing to be on a stage together. That's very cool. We're also very thankful that you watched this video. If you got this far and you're interested in signing up for a voice lesson with either of us, go check out vocalease.net. Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.